Okay, good morning. The best preparation for tomorrow is to do your best today. Whatever preparation you are preparing, just make sure you are going to do your best today. Today is another wonderful day the Lord has made. We are grateful for life, for the strength, for the opportunity, for the privilege, because you and I can make it. We are here and you're there. Opportunity. It's a privilege. And I want to believe your morning has been splendid. You woke up this morning. Thank God for those who don't have any bad news coming their way. And for those who have one sad information or news coming their way, we pray the Lord will help to soften your heart and comfort you on every side. That's my prayer for you this morning, because, when you wake up and you don't have any bad news coming your way, it's a great privilege. It's an honor. It is something we must not take for granted. And so you're welcome to Galaxy Television. The program is Family and Value. It's all about you. It's all about me. It's all about Princess Joy. It's all about everyone right here in the studio. Anywhere you're watching us all over the world, we'll say good morning to you, a good day to you, there, here, and there. Good morning to Nigeria. Good morning to Lagos. Good morning, everyone. We love you. We appreciate God's grace over your life. Today is the 17th day in the month of April 2025. And so if you want to know what Family and Value is all about, it's all about you building a future. It's all about you remembering where you come from. It's all about you acknowledging the fact that you have a responsibility. It's all about you also knowing you have a role to play. As you're walking by the roadside, while you're driving, dropping a particular, tissue or plastic or anything out of your car, you have a role to play there. Okay? When you attend your children to school, you should be intentional about what you say, how you present things their teachers or their principal or their headmistress had said before them. All these things are the things you are likely to find on Family and Value. We talk about the finances, we talk about the mental state of health, we talk about everything that has to do with you, who you represent, the family you stand for, your own personality, and your well-being. And today being Thursday, we'll talk about health. So your Healthy Thursday right here on Family and Values Galaxy Television. And I'm sure you're going to have a splendid time with us, because we always learn and grow every day. The day you stop learning, you have gone. The day you stop learning, you find out that you start forgetting certain things in your life. And it's not because you didn't go to school, but because you have left certain things unattended to. Learning. There's change everywhere, every day of our life. My name is Olori Adejoke. My friends call me Olori AJ. You're welcome to the program. You can join us on YouTube or Facebook. You can also join our Galaxy Instagram page. For every episode you have missed today, please go back and watch. I'm sure you are not going to, feel bored, but rather you are going to learn and understand that it's one thing or the other that you've missed and you need to inculcate back into your family. Okay, so today I'm not here alone, as I have a dashing young lady sitting there. I called her Princess, and I call her Jemilat. So Jemilat today, Jamila don't call. My Jamila, Dekle God was asking Bami Washade Abi. But this one is my Jamila. I don't need to be lonely.
Good morning to you. It's good to be here with you. I've missed you anyway. Yes, I have.
Someone said you missed me. Can you imagine?
It's good to be back. It's good to be back.
You did not miss Crown because they are looking at you.
Don't
they shut you out.
Don't worry. They know
you
that
I
miss
Raphael and Sonny and Otuda.
Now I miss sitting down and having this conversation with you and talking to Abia.
I miss you not being here too, because once in a while I say, one day is here. I was telling you about my yesterday. I said Adibin Joy is here now. She will tell you I'm going to take some. Whether it's your friend or your, she also said yes.
Okay, good morning and welcome to the show. Princess Joy Abu is here live and direct. It's Healthy Thursday. But one thing I would say this morning is your health is very important. Please, no matter what, do not underrate. Once you feel any little pain, check out with your doctors. It might be something manual, something you really need to attend to avoid a greater damage. Welcome to the show. It promises to be a very wonderful Thursday because you're going to learn. And the rains are here, so please prepare yourself for the cold season ahead. Sit back and enjoy the show. Thank you.
Okay, any birthday shout out?
Now, not birthday shout out, but everyone celebrating. I'm wishing you the very best with love, with all the celebrations. And to those having their marriages today, we wish you a happy celebration. Welcome to the club.
Okay, I should wishing you a happy celebration and welcome you to the club. A big shout out to everyone celebrating once again. We wish you the very best. And this is coming from, hey, this guy will not finish me. You know, when someone just decides to just do the needful and just say, you must celebrate me. Now, the person sent it to me this morning and said I should, let me just put it across. Mr. Adewale, okay. Not our own Adewale, sorry. A big shout out goes to Esther Martins. Esther Martins. If I don't do this one, I love husband and wife too much. Sometimes my friend will say, you are too partial. You're always going the male side. I said, because I'm not a lesbian. So, my gender, I love you. But this is coming from Esther Martins from her husband. Esther Martins. From Esther Martins' husband, Oluwashio, aka Last Born. So last one is wishing Martins Esther, which is the wife, a very, very wonderful celebration. Okay? And wishing you that many good things will come your way as you continue to stick together, you know, live together, continue to be multiplying, and God will multiply everything concerning you and continue to give you the wisdom to be the best wife you can always be in all that you do. So to everyone who always want to send one love message or the other to their wife or their husband, bring it on. We are here to help you push it further. Okay, so happy celebration to everyone celebrating. We love you. And a big shout out to Agatha Slim. Thank you for what you do. And then it's time for us to go for our mini feature. We'll be right back, so stay tuned. Wonderful time together. You're joining us right now. It's a privilege and we love the fact that you're tuning in this morning. Okay, I think on Wednesday or Tuesday, I said someone should send a message to let us know their comments on the motherly role. I actually gave out a question on motherly role. I'm still expecting. I've not seen it. I'm still expecting because I know you watch. Many of my friends already. I said, comment. I want to see your comment. Send in your comment. Don't just watch and like. Please leave a comment. It helps us. It makes things better for us because it makes us to understand. Like we talk about criticism on Monday, and it goes a long way. When you're criticized, it's not because you're hated. It's not something to make you feel bad. Sometimes you just need to sit alone and realize that something good is just there for you. And it's a way to go. So this morning, myself and Princess Joy, as we talk about Healthy Thursday, how many of you have first aid box in your house? Do you? Say hi. If you don't, say no.
But they should, because I remember there was a time we talked about it with Dr. Africa. And
they should. Hello, sweetie.
They should.
They should.
Well,
do you know whether they have it or not?
Yeah, it's very important.
What if someone will tell you before you get the box? Do you know you can actually create a little space because it's first aid box? Doesn't mean you can start from something. You know, a carton, an empty carton, clean empty carton, and start from there.
Yeah, plastic.
It goes along, as long as it's not where the children can easily lay their hands on it. So this morning, glory be to God, we are looking at how you can take care of yourself. Apply, you know, a first aid activity while you have a cut or an open wound. So our topic this morning is handling cuts or open wound. Handling cuts or open wound. So our doctor is Dr. Kelvin Isibo. He's a GP. Is Dr. Kelvin on with us this morning? That man, so gentle. He's an elegant. You know, those men that are so gentle. They just do things,
Dr. Kevin takes his time anyway.
it's time.
How are we
No
having
rush.
this morning?
Dr. Kevin, are you there? Aha, you see,
Okay.
I tell you, Kevin, oh, yeah, show your face. Let's see you. You're looking so handsome, and that's your.
I know he had to quickly
outfit
change
this
up
morning.
to his daughter
Yeah, his robe.
outfit. Yeah, to his
Hello, doctor, are you there? See him. Hey, àwọn ọkùnrin ẹlẹgẹ́ nìyẹn. It's so good to see you this morning. Good morning, doctor. How are you?
I'm fine.
Okay, so this morning we're looking at handling cuts and open wounds. And I want to ask, what is the first thing you do when you have a cut? What should be the first thing? Maybe your daughter, maybe my daughter, anyone at home, in the kitchen, maybe a fall and you have bruises, it's an open, what should be the first thing we do?
Okay, for any cut, first thing we want to do is to stop the bleeding, because it depends on the severity of the cut. For some, it might be minor. For some, it can be a jaw cut where the person is bleeding, and there is threat to life. So the first thing is you want to stop the bleeding. Possible if you can get a clean material, maybe like a sterile gauze or something, anywhere you can have access to first aid. The first thing is you want to stop the bleeding. That's the first thing. Hello, can you hear me?
How do we do that bleeding, stopping the bleeding? What are the things I want action this morning? I want more of you telling us directly. How do we stop the bleeding? Do I just put my hand and I'm peeling maybe pepper? I'm trying to get the pepper ready to blend it in the kitchen, and I just get there, I just put the hand where pepper
It is important.
so I'm trying to peel the yam, anything. Just I want to know exactly how we're going to be very active this morning.
Okay. Now it depends on there are different things to look at when we are dealing with cuts. So first thing first, there is threat to life when one is bleeding. Somebody can bleed to death. So you want to take a clean material and apply pressure. Clean material and apply pressure to the site of the cut to stop bleeding. That is the first thing. Because I said the threat to life can be one is losing blood. Also, you don't want that place to get infected. Why to apply pressure on the site of the cut to stop bleeding? So you don't want to use a contaminated material where one is exposed to infection by using contaminated material to stop the bleeding, to apply pressure. That is also another risk to life. Now, it depends on the setting. If the person is close to a facility, close to the hospital, all you have to do, take a material that is clean and apply pressure there. In some type of cuts, the bleeding can be very severe. You have to apply a tourniquet. If you don't get a clean material to apply the pressure, you might have to apply like a tourniquet, like a band, prior to that region to reduce the blood flow to that area and quickly take the person to the hospital. And when they get to the hospital, the doctor or the nurse will do the remaining. Yes.
Kelvin, I love the fact that you're showing off your wristwatch. If you're here, I would have taken it from you. But let me ask this. How do you clean wounds properly? We are looking at the kitchen setting, the holidays are here, the kids are home, and there are tendencies that there will be minor accidents at home. I've seen cases where people just pick up something and now quickly, well, someone have to put that area, to try to stop the blood with their mouth on it. What is the proper way to clean wounds properly? Yeah, see that look, yeah.
Well, it is important that everyone should be skilled when it comes to first aid. We have to be careful with the kind of information we give out when it comes to sessions like this. Yes, we want to clean the wound, but as a doctor, the first rule of medicine is do no harm. If you don't know what to do, just apply pressure, take the person to the hospital. Now, cleaning wound, it is acceptable that you use normal saline. It's a type of drip. That's what we use to clean wound. You clean the site of the wound. Unlike what we have been told from childhood, that you use methylated spirits to clean wound, that is very wrong. What you do is use normal saline to clean the wound. If you are in a place you cannot get normal saline, just all you have to do is expose it to clean tap water, just to rinse off dirt from the side of the wound. Then you apply pressure. That is all. Take the person to the hospital. But do not use methylated spirit. We don't use methylated spirit to clean open wound. It's a very wrong practice. Now, for dressing wound, we prefer if the person has first aid experience. You can use Adin, you can use Usaw to clean the wound after it's more or less like an antiseptic to prevent bacterial invasion of the site of the cut after you have cleaned with a clean water or normal saline. Now, it depends on the type of wound. If it's a recent cut, yes, you want to do that. But let's say if it's a wound the person has had for maybe weeks, some days, it has been exposed to dirt. That is not the type you now want to clean. Sometimes we use pure honey to dress wound. But as I've said, it depends on the type of. We use that for what? Old wound. When the wound is healing, not a fresh wound. The person just sustained the cut. Those ones you can use iodine, you can use your saw, but do not use methylated spirits to dress wound. Then also, we give antibiotics, we give vitamin C, the person will take tetanus injection. But usually, all this will be done in the hospital. Because antibiotics, so in as much as you want to give antibiotics, which antibiotics are you giving to the person? You don't want to give antibiotics that the person is allergic to. Is the person skilled to ask the drug history? What are you allergic to? Ordinary amoxicillin or even paracetamol, some people can react to it. And at that point, you have no longer rendered help. Instead, you have killed the thing. We don't want casualty on your neck. So it is safe to say, all you have to do, clean with clean tap water, just rinse the wound, apply iodine, either with gauze or cotton wool, use it to apply pressure, take the person to the hospital. When they get to the hospital, you'll be giving vitamins to improve healing. You'll be giving tetanus injection to prevent tetanus, and every other thing, they will take it off from there, give antibiotics too, as the need may be. And if the person has lost enough blood, they can give blood and every other thing. Yeah. I don't know if I answered your question correctly.
It's time for us to go for a break. As you know, we always want a word of marble. So just give us a minute. We'll be right back. Just stay tuned. Viewers at home, let's take a word of marble. If you're just tuning in, you've not missed much, but you can always have, a continuity with us and later go back and watch it. We're talking about handling cuts or open wounds with Dr. Kelvin Isibo. Doctor, are you still there? Word of marble said that can never be healed. Is that true, doctor? I'm asking you now. If I ask my my next question. Is it true that there are some wounds that can never be healed? Why is that? What wound do you think? Somebody said heart. But apart from heart, is it true that there are really physical wounds that cannot be healed?
Well, to some degree, yes. Not every wound will heal completely. For some, they from it. So let's say you have a diabetic patient and they have diabetic food. Sometimes that is where that will come from, and they never get to heal from it. For some, they have wounds secondary to burns, have hypertrophic scar, and they heal, but they don't heal completely. The deformity is there for life. So they don't heal, the wound is still there, the complication of the wound is still there. They have not really healed completely. So it depends on the degree of wound, the severity. Some they heal completely, some they don't heal completely, and some wound can just be, the end of life. So that's just the reality.
The end of life. Thank you very much, doctor. Now my next question. What happens to untreated wounds? That there is a wound or an injury and someone does, like you said, try to stop the bleeding and, just do the own way of treating it or attending to it and say, well, it's a stop, Jerry, I'm okay. What happens to untreated wounds? What are the dangers of untreated wounds?
That's a broad question. Okay, we'll take it one after the other. For untreated wound, so if the wound is large enough, cause significant bleeding. So one, the person might bleed to death. Two, the person might bleed to a degree where they are suffering from what we call anemia, shortage of blood. The heart is beating fast, they feel weak, they feel sick, but they are not really from it. They have not entered shock to the point that they might need to give them blood. For some, the kidney might shut down. It can result to acute kidney injury, whereby they bleed so much, the kidney is not getting enough blood. As a result, the kidney will shut down. Then with time, the person starts doing dialysis. Now, sometimes it can be due to labor. A woman gives birth from CS after surgery, and maybe the suture was not properly done, or the doctor has the person take some time off, make sure you rest well, and the next day the man starts walking about and everything. The site of suture can lose, and the person starts bleeding. With that, there is kidney injury. If addressed early enough, they do dialysis, see a nephrologist, it can be reversed. But if not, it can progress from acute kidney injury to chronic kidney disease. And before you know it, if care is not taken, it can lead to total kidney shutdown, total kidney failure, and the person might need kidney replacement. Also, if the wound is not properly managed, not well treated, they can get tetanus. The mortality rate for tetanus is very high. Think about 50%, if not more than 50%. You need to get, as at that point, they need to now see a neurologist to manage the tetanus outside the wound. Then also, the wound can get infected. If the wound gets infected, the person is now battling with sepsis. Generalized infection, all the organs in the body can shut down because of the sepsis. And things like that. So the list, it goes on and on and on. If the wound is not well treated, it can lead to anything. Just the way the body works is that all the parts of the body are connected. Now, the person has infection in one part of the body because of the wound. That infection
because
can even spread to
hello,
other parts
doctor.
maybe the
Okay,
heart,
thank you.
endocarditis or something.
Okay, Dr. Stephen.
Yes.
Thank you very much. You talked about infection and it caught my attention, and I wanted to ask, how do you know that a particular wound is infected? You know, sometimes you might have, like you talked about tears, and this is an internal wound. How would you know that such a wound is infected? What are those signs you're going to get within your body system that would make the doctors know that, okay, this particular wound is infected? And then the physical wounds, what are those things? Because sometimes you see people on the road with open wounds that are not covered. The flies perching around, and then you see some whitish stuff coming out, and you're asking questions. So what are those signs to know that a wound, a particular wound, is infected?
Okay, well, I think you have given us one of them. When you said you see whitish stuff coming out, which we call pus. In medicine, we call it purulent discharge. Those whitish things that you see coming out, they are dead white blood cells, and that is why they are whitish in color. So if anywhere you have infection, the white cell goes to that part of the body, try to combat the infection. Whenever there's a war, part of the enemy will die, and part of the, the good side will also die. So what you see as those whitish discharge, it is the white blood cells, dead white blood cells. They are trying to combat the infection. They will kill some of the bacteria will kill some of the white blood cells. So the whitish thing you see is a sign that that wound is infected. That's one. Two, when you touch the site of that wound, it can feel warm to touch. Yes. So that is a sign that, oh, this wound is infected. That's one. Two, it can be that you just see that the place is changing color. That site is changing color. You'll be like, this place is getting dark. It wasn't like this before. Another thing is that the thing is swelling. The leg is swelling. The leg was not like this before. After some time, or maybe any part of the body, it is increasing in size. Also, the person starts having fever. Increased body temperature. You take paracetamol, they feel better and things like that. That could be a sign that that wound is infected. Then also, on rare occasion, when you look at the part we call lymph nodes, when you are maybe around the neck, the armpits, the groin area, when you touch those parts, you can feel some lump-like tissues there. And meanwhile, you have wound maybe on the foot or something. Now, those lymph nodes, they are sites of production of white blood cells. So because your body is working overtime to produce more white blood cells to combat that infection, the lymph nodes get swollen. So that will be a sign that, oh, there's infection in one part of the body, and the lymph nodes are making efforts to go and combat that infection. So we call all these signs of inflammation. So talk about changes in color, the whitish discharge, the swelling, the temperature, the fever you have, then also loss of function. All these are signs of infection. If, for example, I have a cut on my hand and I'm able to use the hand, after some time I notice I'm not able to move the hand or something, that could be a sign that, oh, that wound is infected. And because the infection is spreading, is increasing, I feel pain, I'm not able to use that hand. All those are signs of inflammation. So you see inflammation when you have infection. So I don't know if there is any other thing you want me to cover.
Okay, welcome back. Thank you for still attending to our questions, doctor. Now, I want to ask, should all wounds be taken to the hospital, or there are some particular wound that we can actually take care of at home? Should all wounds be taken to the hospital?
Well, if you ask me, I'll say yes. Because People are not skilled enough to know the wound that will go on its own and the wound that will not go on its own. There's a pidgin in proverb that says, "Na small shit dey spoil nyash." So the wound that you think, oh, nothing will happen, it is just harmless. It's possible that's the wound that will be contaminated with tetanus and the person will die from it. But if that person went to the hospital, the person will be given tetanus injection. That wound will be dressed properly and it won't lead to tetanus, tiny wound. But meanwhile, somebody can just overlook it and say, well, I've done everything that I need to do and I don't think it's a big deal. We shouldn't take health for granted, you know. I wish we have a world, I'm not saying now in Nigeria, where healthcare is affordable. Healthcare is expensive everywhere all over the world. Let's not make it a Nigeria thing. You know, we are quick to condemn our Nigeria. We have one of the cheapest healthcare all over the world. But I wish we have a world where healthcare is readily affordable. Because the only reason somebody will not want to go to the hospital is because of funds. But if you have the fund, go to the hospital, let them check you. Life has no duplicates. It's better you overdo. Let them say, oh, you are being proactive. Madam, this one is not doing. You don't need to come to the hospital. Go. Rather than then say, oh, if that you came on time, we would have been able to solve the whole situation, but now it's late. So I think everyone should be taken to the hospital and let it be addressed by health workers. Yeah.
So what do we need in a first aid box? Because when we started the conversation, you said something. You said, oh, pick a bandage, set the place, you know. Now, and we are used to having ventilated spirits in our first aid boxes. I have been that person that once there is a little cut, I'll just pick ventilated spirit and kill it. But today you just said it's wrong. So what are those things that we need in our first aid box at home?
Well, what you need in a first aid box depends on how skilled the person is. So, typically in a first aid box, you need a scissors to cut your bandage. You need a crepe bandage. You need sterile gauze and cotton wool. If possible, if you can get either normal saline or water for injection, because it is sterile, you can be sure that it is clean. You need iodine. You need something to help with pain. Maybe paracetamol. As I've said, it depends on how skilled the person is, but I think these are the basic ones that everybody should be able to do it. Also, you also need gloves, sterile gloves. Because if you have a sterile gloves, sterile cotton wool, and you take a dirty hand to touch it, you have contaminated it. So the first thing, if there's any emergency and you want to help somebody, there's a cut, go and wash your hand. That is the first thing. Because the first rule of medicine is do no harm. You don't want to harm the person. So wash your hand properly. You clean your hand. Wear your sterile gauze. You know, take the water for injection or normal saline, preferably. Instead of tap water, we prefer it. We cannot guarantee how clean the tap water is, but we can guarantee that normal saline and water for injection. You use it to rinse the wound, remove dirt, you know, with the cotton wool and sterile gauze. Then after that, either you take the sterile gauze, apply pressure on the cut to bleeding. Then you can take a bandage it around to apply pressure so that the site of cut is not bleeding. Then take the person to the hospital. If you cannot get to the hospital on time, maybe you are in a fireplace, a bush, or maybe during survival strategy, during kidnapping, attack, or something, you are not sure you will get to the hospital on time, you can then apply iodine to the cut to prevent any infection. Then before you apply the bandage. Also, the bandage, be careful. You don't want the bandage to be too tight. There's something we call compression. There's something we call excessive tension. You know, when we talk about things that prevents wound from healing, excessive tension is part of it. Compression syndrome. So if you tie the wound to be too tight, you are doing more harm because you also need blood to go to that side and stimulate healing. But whereby the tension there is excessive, you are preventing wound healing. So I think those are the basic things. But people also need to know what are those things that will prevent wound from healing. So excessive tension is one of it. Malnutrition is another one. Infection, foreign body is also part of it. Then also, if you can give the person vitamin C, then on a safe track, let's say maybe a kidnap or you are running from your life, war or something. You are not sure you will get to the hospital on time. You give the person vitamin C, let them continue taking vitamin C, take a lot of protein, clean the wound, apply iodine, apply pressure, not excessive pressure on the site of the wound, stop bleeding. So I think these are the basic things.
Does every wound need covering? You know, you are talking about covering, and I was like, you are eating actually into my question. Does every wound or injury or cut need covering? Why do they need covering? Apart from germs, what other reasons are they being covered? Should they be covered? Sorry.
Well, most of the time we cover wounds to prevent infection. Now, the way wound healing occurs is that the body on its own has a mechanism for healing open wounds. You want to take the cut wound, move the part of the body close to each other, you know, to stimulate healing. For some, the cut is too big that you cannot bring that part closer to each other. You just want to use another material to cover it to prevent it from getting infected. However, there are some wounds that you must not close. You don't bring it close to each other. For example, if you have bite wound, when you go to the hospital, we don't suture bite wounds. Why? Because that wound is already infected. The teeth has so many bacteria, the mouth has so many bacteria, either dog bite or human bite. You know, in that kind of situation, we want to irrigate the wound very well to remove all the dirt, leave it open, but we don't suture it. Anywhere you see the suture bite wound and all of it's an error. We don't. Now, I advise people when you have wound, go to the hospital. You know, don't. I don't want to say that we have so many quack in the system. Some people will tell you, oh, they are going to the hospital, they go to hospital, they will go to chemists. I will not call them pharmacists. Ideally, a qualified pharmacist knows what to do. Maybe they will do first aid for you, then still send you to the hospital. But when you go to a chemist, there is a difference between a chemist and a pharmacist. Chemists are those ones you meet by the roadside. They are not qualified. They are just selling drugs. You know, they do the dressing haphazardly. You know, anything that comes to mind, they apply it there and just put bandage and tell you to go. Those ones now can even go and suture a bite wound. But if you meet a pharmacist, I'm sure maybe when they do first aid for you, they'll still tell you go to the hospital and let the doctor address it properly. You know, those are my learned colleagues. They are not quacks. They know what to do, you know, and most likely they will still send you to the hospital. But if you go to a chemist, you go to quack. You know, some people learn it now like they are learning trade. For 6-7 years, they are just in shop selling drugs and things like that. Thank God for what NAFDAC is doing now. They are trying to fish out people like that out of the system. because I think is it last month or last 2 months, I saw a man in his 20s. He had a convulsion. Convulsion happened in the kitchen. I think he was cooking. But while he was cooking, he had an epilepsy. He had a seizure. And he fell on the microwave and had burns all over the buttocks, all over the hand. You know, the burns were severe. So when he came to see me, I assessed the wound. And from there, I could see part of the bones, that the bones were exposed and things like that. So I said, okay, even if I do the dressing for you today, what about the day that I'm not chanced? What will happen? Now, the thing is, when he came to me, they've done the dressing already. But the dressing I saw was not properly done. If I see a poor dressing that is not done by a medical person, I will know. They used anyway, I don't want to spoil any anyway, the material they to dress it is not the right material. So I assessed it and I said, this dressing was not done by a medical person. He said, yes, he went to one chemist when the thing happened and they did the dressing for him. The bomb, he said they poured the injection powder on the bomb and used to do the dressing. We don't do dressing like that. It's only quack that dress wound like that. So I referred him to Bagada General Hospital. So go and at least it's cheaper there, unlike going to a private hospital where we have to spend more. Because part of what you told me was that there was financial constraint. And if you go to hospitals, general hospitals are cheap, but it's unfortunate that Nigerians who don't utilize it. So I referred him there. They did the dressing for him one or twice. So I think about a week later, I was supposed to do a review. When he did the review, and I saw a different thing, I was like, no, don't meet the doctor there, this dressing. He now opened up, he said, well, we went there once or twice. After that, because of the stress going there, he did the dressing himself. I said, this dressing I'm seeing now is not properly done. I know it was not a doctor or a nurse that did it. You have gone to meet a quack, and this is a rubbish dressing. We don't dress wound like this. So if you see a wrong dressing, we will know. You know, I now had to refine back to the doctor again. And when he got there, the doctor saw it and complained. I said, who did this dressing for you? The doctor knew it was not a medical person that did the dressing. So it is important that you meet the right person to do your dressing. When we see it, we will know.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for being a part of Healthy Thursday with us. Really appreciate your time. Thank you for finding out time to be on the show with us this morning. And for all you've taught us, I know viewers have actually heard a lot.
A beautiful thank you to Dr. Kelvin for this great opportunity. Thank you so much out of your busy schedule for giving us this 1 hour this morning. Thank you, Doctor. God bless you. More grace, we pray for you, and have a blessed, beautiful, and a splendid day ahead. On that note, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who has been part of today's show. Tomorrow is going to be another wonderful day, a wonderful topic. We're looking at It's My Right, Claiming My Inheritance. It is my right, claiming my inheritance. So if I'm claiming, so all those young ones claiming, they are telling you it's their right. We are going to be discussing why is it their right? Are they the one to determine their time of claiming the inheritance, or the inheritance being released to them? Is it becoming entitlement by the way? We'll be discussing more about that tomorrow with someone who will be young enough to let us know how and why they are claiming it at that time. Okay, so
to everyone, we are saying thank you. I am Princess Joy Ayo Abu. I'll see you tomorrow, Friday, as we discuss another talk here on family and values. Have a wonderful Thursday ahead.
So thank you to everyone who has made the show a great success, from the camera unit to every other department who has made today's episode a show of today successful. And to our supervising producer, Teslim Ajayi, thank you. To the president who actually wanted the young ones to understand what it means to have value and how important value is to one's life and to every individual and personality. Thank you so much, sir, for the honor. My name is Rumin Olori Adejoke Adam David. Hope to see you tomorrow. Have a splendid day ahead of you. Enjoy your day. Bye for now.